Alright guys, good evening. So in this video, I want to show you how to achieve this Ishago drafting, right? I have met several clothes on this and people are requesting and asking me to show them how to draft it. So the method is still simple. It's just the same thing we do on our normal senator. So the first thing to do here is to get the fabric, fold it into two. Bear in mind that the folding, you must consider the lion's nose. The lion's nose must be at the center of your folding. So I have decided, I have made the folding by myself, and I make sure that the two eyes we are matching, so that when you start drafting, whatever you're drafting will be on the replica side, on both sides, right? So these two eyes are matching, and the folding is on the center of the nose, as you can see on the fabric. Then the length of the top is always a long top for most people that want to make kind of a longer out. So I am using a 44-inch top length for my clients. So however, you can decide to use yours any length you want. Then after you get your top length, you always mark your shoulder, and then you mark your shoulder measurements in that form. Once you get your shoulder, the next to do is to slope your slopey. So if you have watched my previous videos on outfits, how to draft a regular senator outfit, you will still use the same method to draft this. The only thing here is to show you guys how the shago was positioned. So I'm not here to teach you how to cut this. Now, the next thing I want to explain to you here is that after marking the whole processes of your neckline, shoulder slope, armhole, then you are meant to apply the hip at the midpoint of this outfit, right? Then you are meant to measure your customer's shoulder to hips. So in most cases, it depends on the person's height. It ranges from 24 to 27 inches, depends on the person's height as well. So when you mark your chest on the armhole area, you are going to mark your hip on the hip point. That's where you have measured your customer's shoulder to hips. So this is the new thing you need to add. So this cutting will no longer be in a straight form. It will be in an A-line shape, meaning the chest will be on the armhole area while the hip will be somewhere at the middle or somewhere below the midpoint of the outfit. So this will help you, your customer or your client, to put it on and have a fitting on the chest and also be free on the hip region without being too tight on him or restricting his movements, right? So you are going to use two measurements in cutting the chest and the hip, but bear in mind that in folding, your major fold concern is your hip measurement. So once your hip measurement is properly considered and use it to fold, you are covered. Now the chest will now be marked inside the outfit, then connect the two lines and have that A-line connection, and after which you now also mark the hip on the hemline. You have to mark the hip on the hemline. In most cases, you add extra 1 inch on the hemline to give you that room to walk. So you connect all of those measurements from the chest to the hip and to the hemline, and then you will have like an A-line shape all through that way, right? So this is the procedure or the process you undergo to draft this outfit, and you end up having a perfect result. So if you like what you're seeing, kindly like this video, please share it and comment and tell me how impactful this video might be to you. So once you finish doing this, you connect the lines as well, connect all through to these very points, right? Make sure that the connection is in an A-line form. It should not be in a straight line, or don't give it shape or give it fitting. Rather, it is a free outfit that will be open enough for your client. But in as much as it's going to be open, it's still going to give them fitting, right? So that's the reason you should use your chest to cut on the chest line and use your hip to cut on the hip point, which is always somewhere at the midpoint of your outfit, right? So cut the neckline and cut everything needed. So the same procedure I undergo in the shoulder application, neckline, armhole, derivations, and armhole trimming is what I also did here. The reason you cannot see this because of the chalking. The chalk will not be visible enough, but the same procedure I undergo is what I did here. The new things I did is what I have explained to you guys. Then you cut all through this way. You cut all through this way. So when you are cutting, you make sure that the fabric does not shift so that you don't alter the positioning of the Ishago on the front panel, right? So now, after this, the next thing I will show you guys will be on how the back was cut. Now, in most cases, most people will decide to cut this Ishago both front and back, while some will prefer to have it only to be in front, you know. So, but I would advise you do yours to be only front. The front and back makes it to look somehow too much or too fanciful for a man. So, you know, I prefer plain black at the back. Look at the result. This is what we have. You see how beautiful this outfit is, right? So I prefer to have it black at the plain black at the back, while the front has the ishag, right? So this outfit will always be a shoulder zip. You are not meant to add flap. Please don't add flap except your customer choose to have flap. But if you are to decide, please use shoulder zip. It gives you that more room to showcase the shago without any alteration or any blocking or blockage. Then after this, the next you will do here will be also to place the back panel to cut. Remember, I told you guys the back will be plain black, right? So adjust it all through this way. Make sure it's properly adjusted all through to this very point. And after which, the next thing to do here is to, you know, raise the back by 2.5 inches on both neck area and the shoulder region as well. So carefully arrange it all through. So this is the process or the procedure you undergo to do this. So if you had wanted to use the same ishago for the back, you would have gone ahead to fold it as well, you know, leaving the ishago to be used for the back as well. But my client wants it to be a black plain back, right? So I am trying to carefully arrange all of this. You know, the vintage fabric used to be very light, and it can shift at any slightest movement. So I'm trying to, you know, adjust this perfectly in a way that it will not shift. So after which, I am ironing out this piece. You know, ironing is very essential. In most of these cases, I use steam iron. The steam iron is a bit more friendly to fabrics than the dry cell iron, especially if you're using the one that had the steam tank overhead, and then tool iron own is more friendly. And bear in mind that you are not meant to increase the temperature to be much or the regulator to be much. I use 1 or 1.5 in the hotness of the iron, right? I don't use more than 1 or 1.5 in such fabrics. Bear in mind that every fabric has its own heat point or its own temperature you are meant to use on the iron. So now, after this, I will now go ahead, you know, raise the back panel in that form and cut all through that way, and then go ahead with my normal regular sewing. So if you have liked what you have just seen, kindly like my video, subscribe to my channel, comment, drop a heart emoji for me to know you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in my next videos. Bye bye for now.